fixer-upper. And it looks a little different. Yeah, I figured it was time for a paint job. You guys might remember that it used to be kind of like an off-white gray color, and all the wood was really badly peeling, and I didn't like the color, and it's time to get a new color on it. So we've gone with this kind of dark blue and white trim. Don't look too close. Painters aren't quite done yet, but I am very, very happy with this. Had somebody say it almost looks like a place a person would want to live, and I was like, yeah, it does. And the door looks nice now. Ignore the porch because the porch material, the front steps need updating, and the porch itself needs updating. But I've had a few other improvements. Some of those improvements include lights on the front porch. And you may be thinking, hey, this means that you might have new power on your first floor. And you would be right. Also, don't look at the white trim that's supposed to get painted. Painters should be wrapping up in a couple days. Inside the house looks pretty much the same, I want to say. Ignore the mess, please. And I've covered the windows because of lighting in a old dark house is tough to pull off. Also, ignore that little gap in the floor. I'll be fixing that hopefully today or tomorrow. And you may notice this floor looks very, very different. At the beginning of the summer, there was a big pile of boxes down here. That's my HVAC system. That's all been moved upstairs. I've pulled up the top layer of floor. I was going to call it finished floor because I do have finished hardwood floor in the house, like there, and I think it's going to polish up real nice. But I pulled up this section of the floor, this big section that's got plywood on it right now. I pulled that up for a couple reasons. One, the termite damage back around here was so excessive. There was really no wood left, and I had to do something. So I had to pull that up. And then I think I've talked about this before, but there's a doorway under this section of the wall in the basement. And when they installed that doorway, they didn't make sure that the top of the doorway was going to match up level with the to hold the floor joist straight, so that it would be a straight line across. And so there was some really bad sagging here, about 2 inches of sag. So I took that out, took the rod out, took that out, put this new subfloor in. I pulled up that hardwood floor to get the new subfloor in. I'll be trying to salvage the hardwood floor and hopefully fill it back in to this line between these two doors. So I would like this hallway to be hardwood, and then that'll be the transition to the kitchen. And so where I'm standing and where the camera's pointing from is going to be the kitchen, and then beyond, hopefully this point will be hardwood. And I do have to fill in that gap, which was important to open because we found a couple things. Like, you see how that little pillar, that little footer down there is new wood? I put that there because there was nothing there before. And that was a problem because you could see, hopefully, finger was right here, right? Well, it's supposed to be straight. Wasn't straight. Had a similar issue over here. Had to fight. Whoa, sorry about the lighting. Had to fight to get a support in under this column. And there was some mess and rot here that I had to pull out. So with that gone, we're in good shape to finish patching the subfloor. Back here was a similar story with rot and water damage. And then here was a big section where they had a bunch of holes in the floor for the old kitchen. Similar story. At that small patch, that's where all the steam used to run. And then over here, there was a chimney that ran in this corner, and they didn't flash it, I guess, after like the first time they put it in. So there was probably a couple decades of water damage down there. Got that out, new subfloor in. And I'm going to be putting self-leveler on this floor so that it is nice and flat. And you'll see I have electrical run here. That's going to be for an island. I've got a couple more wires to bring back through once I locate the holes correctly. And then the other big change back here is going to be this door. This door swing has to flip, and I need to move it a couple inches. So that's probably going to be tomorrow's project. And otherwise, my kitchen is about ready to go, about ready to move, about ready to start making real progress, and I am excited. You'll see the lights. It's gonna be hard to film around them, but I wanted the light in here. Had the electrician's been in most of summer and done a real good job roughing in all new wiring all across the basement and the first floor. I'm very excited. It's a massive upgrade. We're almost, I think, to code on most of it, which is really phenomenal, really wild. I kind of want to talk a little bit about next steps. I'm doing these small projects to wrap up and get ready, kind of to make big progress. Like I said, my major goal is insulation and HVAC by winter. In order to do insulation, I have to have the city sign off and say it's okay to cover up the walls. And in order to do that, I have to have the plumbing done, the HVAC done, and the wiring done. And I'm back and forth on exactly how to do this. Part of me thinks I should continue to try to live upstairs and just do demo the side I'm not using and run everything over there and kind of like tent it up inside the living unit where I have to run ductwork in there. Part of me says it's terrible. The rest of me says that is an absolutely terrible idea, and what I should be doing is moving out temporarily into probably a small apartment, and then I can demo the whole thing. I can turn the water off to the whole building. I don't have to worry about frozen pipes. I don't have to worry about insulation. If I make it, great. If I don't, I'm not going to be, basically homeless. So I'm probably going to go that route. Currently shopping around for cheap apartments. Cheap, safe, quiet, healthy apartments to all you who worry about me. And I'm just trying to set the timetable on that. And once I am done setting that up, I'll be doing a quick move out and going to town, probably demolition weekend at my place. So I have a few people who've expressed interest in helping. I'd love that help. If you are interested in helping me, reach out to me directly. If you don't have my contact information, you can message me here. But yeah, be looking to get a dump trailer out here, build a trash chute out the second floor, and just go to town on it. I've started collecting protective equipment, personal protective equipment, so you don't breathe it and you don't, get caked with it too badly. Yeah, oh man, we might almost be close to seeing the finish line on this major elements of this project. Of course, all the finish work is time consuming, but getting the guts in, getting the real meat and potatoes in would be a huge for me, and really looking forward to it. One other little project that I've had is framing in this back stairwell, and this is actually more challenging than it looks because of the way they framed this this wall at the back of the house. So I think I've talked about this before, but this back 10 feet off the house was an addition and put on initially, I think, as a sleeping porch above and a kitchen below and a bathroom below. I've had to revise our archaeologist's timeline about what's happened to this place this summer, because I also had plumbers out. Actually, let me go show you that real quick. Okay, so I had plumbers out earlier this summer. You may remember last winter I was down in this basement a lot installing this bad boy, and I was noticing a lot of water and wetness on this wall, and I thought, well, that looks like cast iron, so if it's 130, 120 years old, there's no surprise that it's cracked by now, and so I need to get someone out to look at it and decide, what do we got to do? Do I got to open up this wall? Do I got to get a demolition crew and a jackhammer in here, and I got to do all that and rip up all this concrete, or can we just line it? Can we put a sleeve in it? Can we put a coating on it? What can we do? So I got a plumber out here, and he took a look at it, and he told me, yes, you do have cast iron. He didn't really see any damage to it necessarily. I'm sure there was some, but what he really was surprised by, and ignore the mess again because I'm not done cleaning up, is what they've capped and plugged here. Spider web is an additional bonus. was a 4-inch, I think 4 or 6-inch opening that was completely open to the sewer from the basement. So there was just an open tube to the sewer connection from the basement. And this is the location where the boiler used to be. That pad actually is where the boiler used to be. And so we think it was kind of like an overflow relief for the boiler. But when I saw it, it looked stuffed with rags. I was like, you know, they had to have closed this off. They had to have capped this and closed it off. Dear viewer, they did not do that. So I did it. I also lined the entirety of the sewer connection, the entirety of the drain out to the city sewer connection. And they put that cap in. We got a clean out because of course it's not pitched well. And to the tune of a lot of money. But yeah, we had the plumber out and we got a lot of work done this summer. And you can't really see it because it's just, I could show you the scope video, it's boring. But got it done. Significantly improved the livability of this house, the safety of this house, the long-term cost to own of this house came way down. Yeah, so wasn't cheap, but got it done. And trying to remember where I left off. It was probably this back stairwell cover, and oh yeah, the back porch. Yes, was an addition on the house with the cast iron in the foundation. The original house did have a kitchen or some sort of indoor plumbing. I think after ripping up all this floor and seeing all the damage, I think it was probably somewhere around in this part of the house. Don't honestly know, but part of the reason why I think that beyond the cast iron that's original to the original foundation is that they said I had clay tile also inside or underneath the concrete slab off the back addition. So that was another good reason to line the whole dumb thing. Got it lined, understand a little bit better how the house was built, understand a little bit better why there's water damage in places I didn't expect there to be water damage. And we got the power roughed in, got the electric roughed in for the first floor in the basement. You saw the lights. I got a big brand new panel. The electrician updated it to 200 volts for the house and left me a sub panel for the second floor, which I asked for and I'm really happy about. We're getting the paint done. I think a couple more days with the painter and we'll be wrapped up there. My big goal with the kitchen is to get it ready for the self leveler, which I'm not going to do probably right away. I'll probably wait on that. But if this heat breaks, and this is what I've been trying to get to, if this heat breaks, then I can get up in the attic and I can prep it to be a conditioned space. And I can get on the roof and I can have pop vents so we get ventilation up there that doesn't currently have. And I can start assembling the HVAC system and running the drops, the hoses for it. And it's an interesting system. It's not your typical rigid ductwork system. It's a high velocity system with flexible insulated ductwork. So this is supposed to be an easier install. It's going to be the first time I've done HVAC with my own hands, so it'll be interesting. I'm going to try to take more video, but this is also time consuming, and yeah, it's just been a challenge to try to keep up with it all. So I think you're all updated on everything, and I did some patching on the outside for the siding and the soffit. Oh God. There used to be a chimney on both the east and west side of the house, and when they took the one off the east side, they patched it okay. I've noticed some damage from the ground, and so probably someday the owner, me or someone else, will probably want to go back out there and probably update all the soffit on the house. And on the west side, they laid a piece of cardboard over the hole. And so the animals got in and were nesting up there, and so I pulled several years worth of old bird nests and squirrel nests and rotted wood and rotted leaves and rotted twigs, dead insects and insect poo and animal poo and all sorts of stuff out of that space. It took me Labor Day weekend plus to get that done, but I recovered it up with new tongue and groove. Of course, doesn't match the thickness of the old stuff because they don't make it like the old stuff, but it's fine. We'll cover up the joints with some trim detail, caulk the holes, it'll be fine. But ultimately, somebody's probably going to want to get out here and just replace all of this off it, because I was noticing that there was a pattern to it originally and it looks really nice, and then at some point they did renovation work and then they didn't follow the old pattern and there's damage and it's just old house stuff. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was updated, and maybe in the spring we can do that. Big plan, like I said, is insulation and drywall. In this winter, really love to have heat on so that we can keep the pipes from freezing, keep the building habitable this winter. And if that happens, then I think I can get the demolition on the second floor done and the reframe on the second floor done, and possibly be having to move some windows in the spring and be ready for finishing in the spring and summer. And I may just meet the deadline that the bank has imposed. So that's a huge goal. Big driver number one is the bank deadline. Big driver number two is hopefully keep it heated this winter. And there you have it. And that's the update. Sorry they're not more regular, but it is what it is. Talk to you later. Bye.